So how this works is in your homework packet, you have this review of your reading for the success stories that we read about Gloria Estefan, Dikembe Mutombo, and Albert Einstein. And I'm just going to read over the questions and talk with you about them. But you have the answer key to all of this in your week 1 homework packet. So I want you to just really think about just reading this over with me and how I talk through the questions. If you're looking for the answers, they are in there, but I really am trying to just model what it would be like to take this test in class. This is not a test, this is a review. So I'm not asking you to take it. You can use your books and all your other weeks. So I have my weeks right next to me that have like day 3, day 2, and day 1. And I don't have any reading from day 4 because day 4 is this packet. So I have my reading packets next to me. I can use them if I need to. So let's just go ahead and get going. All right, here we go. So it says, which of the following statements supports the idea that Gloria Estefan was a responsible youngster? So we're looking for some evidence, one of these statements that talks about her being responsible. Is it A, she took care of her younger sister while her mother worked, which is true. B, she immigrated to the United States when she was 16 months old, which is true. C, she overcame her shyness and sang for crowds, which is true. And D, she met her future husband at a Cuban wedding. Now, all of these, even though they might be true, the question was which one shows that she was responsible when she was younger. Well, these two happened when she was older, so I'm going to cross those out. And this one, when she was 16 months, she didn't do that. Her mom, they moved out. So right here, her taking care of her sister, that's responsibility. This is the one that shows that. So she was responsible when she was younger by taking care of her sister. Number 2, what was familiar about Gloria Estefan's father's life while living in Cuba and in the United States? Is it because he was a famous musician? Is it because he held political office? Is it because he spent a lot of time at home? Or is it because he served in both the Cuban and U.S. armies? What was similar about her father's life while living in Cuba and the United States? So the only one that actually works in this is D, because he worked in the military for both countries. Number 3. What is a humanitarian? Is it a person who is forced by a government to live in poverty? No. And if I needed to, I'll show you the page that had that. Is the first packet when I'm looking at the glossary for week 1, day 1. It says right here, humanitarian is devoted to promoting the welfare of humanity, especially by eliminating pain and suffering. So, no. I think this one's more like a refugee. B, a person who spends time helping suffering people. C, a person who treats people of other religions unfairly, which means not kind. D, a person who goes to war to fight for just causes. Now, a humanitarian isn't moving, and they aren't people treating people unfairly. So these two kind of sound a lot alike. But a humanitarian is trying to eliminate pain. I probably could do this, but it's really the person who's helping people who are suffering. not like somebody who's trying to liberate somebody. Number 4. How are Gloria Estefan and Dikembe Mutombo alike? They are both involved with Strong Starts program. They are both from Cuba. Well, he was from Africa. They both use their success to help others. D, all of the above. They both use their success. He was from Africa, she's from Cuba. The Strong Starts program is his basketball stuff. And D doesn't make sense, so C. Number 5. Which of the following describes Dikembe Mutombo? Was he business-minded? Was he selfish? Was he goal-oriented? Or was he unsure? Well, business-minded means that he's thinking about how he didn't really own a business. He was part of a business. And B, selfish, he didn't really think a lot about himself because he talks about how his mom tried to, they were pretty poor and she always tried to share what they had. So it wouldn't be that. And he might have had that business mind, and we won't cross that one off yet. But he really had a goal. Remember, he wanted to help others. So in all of those books, that whole part that we read, he really wanted to find a way to give back to the place that he came from. And I could find that in the reading right here. He said he wanted to devote his full attention to his many humanitarian projects. He started the program called Strong Starts, or got involved in that. And so I would say his goals were to take care of his community. So goal-oriented. Dikembe Mutombo became a professional basketball player and a humanitarian, but had planned to, remember at the very beginning of this article on this page, it says he came to the United States to attend Georgetown University in Oscar and plans to become a medical doctor. So it says right here, he planned to stay in his country and run for political office, stay in the United States and sell real estate, become a medical doctor and return to his country, become a businessman and earn a lot of money. So again, it is C. He talks about becoming, it says there, and then I didn't finish that, and he said to be able to help his country out, because he promised to use his success, on the side, he promised to use his success to help children around the world who are growing up in poverty. So, what caused Einstein's colleagues to accept his unpopular ideas? A, he explained his ideas in professional papers, which is true. B, experiments proved his ideas to be correct, also true. Most common people understood his ideas. Well, first, we know this one's not true because they said that this is really why most people didn't understand. So we know that's not it. And so if that's not it, it can't be all of the above. And even though he explained himself in his papers, it really was the fact that people saw that the experiments proved his ideas. And if I wanted to go back, that would be in the last reading, right here. It says he talked about all the papers he wrote, and then it said that until they used, right here, until the, experiment proved many ideas of motion and being relative. This is when people started to trust or believe him. so when he started to have experiments prove his work. Number 8. After the Nazi Party came to power in Germany, Einstein blank. So actually on this one I'm going to have this out because it said right here, after the Nazi Party came into power, Einstein never returned to Germany. He had moved his family to New Jersey at the end of the year. So he graduated from his class, graduated top German science university and easily found a job. Nope. Developed the theory of relativity while studying in Princeton. Oh, so that wasn't even a choice. So proved the existence of atoms and molecules and took a job at Princeton and the University of the United States. Oh, well, it says right here, oh, it wasn't the same sentence. In 1932, after his third lecture tour in the United States, in Princeton, it offered Einstein a part-time teaching position that would alternate with his work in Germany. He accepted and moved his family there, and then he never returned. So he took a job at Princeton University in the United States. Number 9. What type of book is success stories? Is it personal narrative, biography, science fiction, realistic fiction? Well, these are all biographies. An autobiography is something that a person writes, and a biography is something a person writes about another person. So these are biographies. There's 3 of them. All right. So close. Why did the author write this book? Is it A, to describe organizations that help children around the world? No, but it did. Was the purpose to explain no, it is not. Is it to convince readers to become celebrities? Well, no, but that would be cool. Or is it to inspire the readers to do their best and help others? Absolutely. And I did that whole thing off the camera, so I apologize. It was to inspire the readers to do their best and help others. So, number 11. All of these have to have 2 sentences. So, 11 and 12 both need at least 2 sentences. 11. Pick one of the following adjectives and explain how each person profiled in this book exhibits that trait. Persistent, talented, or intelligent. Pick one. So I'm going to pick talented. And how each person profiled in this book exhibits that trait, talented. Einstein was gifted with math and science. Estefan, Gloria Estefan, Estefan, was a talented singer. And Mutombo was a talented ball player. I guess it could be basketball. I'll erase that so I'm more clear. I might have picked the easier one. These ones, persistent and intelligent, would definitely take a little bit more work to describe, but it wouldn't be horribly difficult. Next. By the way, the responses in the thing in the book show this one as well. Extended response. In your opinion, which of the following people in this book made the most important contributions to the betterment of humanity? Support your choice with 2 ideas from the book. Oh my stars. Okay, so I'm going to model, I know there's an argument for every one of these people. I'm going to put that Mutombo made an important contribution to help the poor. This contribution may, I'm not going to say may, I know it has. It says has saved many lives and has the opportunity to continue. Oops. To help others live better lives.